On March 3rd, 1985, Bill Shoemaker becomes the first jockey to win over $100 million in purse prize money, riding Lord at War in Santa Ana. And not only was he the first, he may have been the greatest jockey of all time. And today we're going to break down Bill Shoemaker on Daily Sports History. Welcome to Daily Sports History. I'm Ethan Reese, your guide to a rapid deep dive into sports history every day. Now, being a jockey is really a thankless job. Most of us, we focus on the horse. Can you name a jockey that won the Kentucky Derby? Go ahead, try to think about it. You can't, but you can probably name a racehorse. There are great horses that have won the Kentucky Derby. And there are great jockeys that have won the Kentucky Derby multiple times. But you probably don't hear about them because it's not the focus of the race. The focus is the horse. But having a great jockey can make that horse even better. And that's what Bill Shoemaker was. Possibly, arguably, debatably, the greatest jockey of all time. He was born in Texas back in the 1930s during the Great Depression. So growing up in that era definitely changes your mindset about what you want to do and where you're going to go in life. And his parents divorced early in his childhood, and his father moved to Southern California, and he joined him, and they lived next to a ranch. And there he got the job cleaning the stables for the thoroughbreds. And only months after working there and becoming an exercise boy, which is someone that rides the horses to get them ready through the routines of every day, then after that, he got his first chance to ride a horse in a race on March 19th, 1949. At that time, he was only 18 years old and was 4'11", 96 pounds. Now, if you don't know, that's very common for jockeys. The lighter you are, the better chance you have to win because there's less weight that the horse has to carry. This is actually very unique in sports that women are actually very good in the sport when given the opportunity because they are also very small too. And less than a month after his very first race, he won his first race, riding Shafter V in a 6 furlong, winning $3,000. Now that is the purse. And a jockey normally takes home about 10% of the purse. Because there's people that own the horse, there's people that train the horse, and the horse doesn't actually get to take money because the horse can't have a bank account. So you're making a small percentage, but you can ride multiple horses, and that can make it a very lucrative career if you are very good, such as Bill was, because you can do multiple mounts in a day and win purses, but you're not always going to win the race. And he was having such success while being a jockey that first year, he rode 218 winners before the year was out. Now, these aren't really big publicly races, not all of them. We all know the Kentucky Derby and Preakness and Belmont, those are big races. But every horse track in America has races every day, and you can win multiple times a day at those races. And then we moved to 1953. After about 14 years of him riding professionally, he sets the record for the most wins in a year at 485. Mark that was held for about 20 years, but not the only record he would set. And his very first Kentucky Derby came 2 years later when he rode Swaps in the 1955 Kentucky Derby. 2 years later, he won his second. And over his career, he would end up winning 11 Triple Crown races. And those are the races, that's the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont Stakes. From 1955 to 1986. Over a 30-year period, he won consistently. In September 1970, after winning and winning and winning, he won his 6,033rd win, breaking the record set by Johnny Longden. But he went on to win 8,833 career victories. Shoemaker's last victory, came on January 20th, 1999. And then he would retire 2 weeks after on February 3rd at the Santa Ana Park where he had all started. Shortly after his retirement, Unfortunately, he was in a solo drunk driving accident in 1991, rolling his vehicle, and the accident actually left him paralyzed from the neck down, and he had to use a wheelchair for the rest of his life. But luckily, he could still train, and so he went back to training. He even as a trainer in his 7 years, he would have 90 wins with a purse of over $3 million. And it also led to him writing 3 horse mystery books with fellow jockey Dick Francis called The Stalking Horse, The Fire Horse, and The Dark Horse, all about murder mysteries featuring a jockey. But sadly, he passed away in 2003 of natural causes. His accolades are far beyond what we can list. If I listed every single race he had won, we'd be here probably for another 2 days. But he was inducted in the National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame in 1958, the Fairgrounds Racing Hall of Fame in 1971, and had a race named after him called the Shoemaker Mile Stakes at the Hollywood Park in Santa Ana. He might have been small in stature, but he was big in what he could do and really set the standard for being a jockey in horse racing and making a name for himself beyond the horses he rode. Thank you for listening to today's Daily Sports History. If you like this, please come connect with us at dailysportshistory.com. You can get all our shows in there, breaking it down by categories. So please come join our community, be a part of this, and come back tomorrow for more Daily Sports History.